Welcome to Civic Morning Musical Spotlight. This is the 7th spotlight of the 2020-2021 season. I'm Robbie Padilla, and I am with clarinetist and saxophonist Ron Caravan and pianist Sar-Shalom Strong. So welcome.
Thank you.
Good to
Nice
be
to
here.
be here.
Absolutely. So Ron Caravan was a professor at Syracuse University for a number of years, and Sar-Shalom Strong in the past has taught at Colgate University and Syracuse, and currently teaches piano at Hamilton College. And interesting fact, the first time I listened to the two of you as a duo, it's actually on Spotify in your latest album. It was the reference Chorale Husa piece, Elegy at Rondeau.
Right.
That I was preparing for a recital a couple years ago.
Isn't that a good piece?
Oh, it's an incredible piece of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the concert that we are going to be hearing is going to be our third recital of the CMM Wednesday recital series this year on March 24th at 12:15 p.m. And it's going to stream from our YouTube channel. So let's get into this a little bit. So first of all, both of you just tell us a little bit about your connections with Civic Morning Musicals.
I probably go back farther than Sar does, but I think he's more active than I am in recent years. But I did some programs, couple anyway, in the 80s. Probably the most memorable was after composer Brian Israel's death in, I believe that was 1985. That's been enough years now that I have to stop and think about that. But we did a tribute concert that I was involved with, and Victoria Van Arks was the pianist, and we did that down on the Everson stage. And there was a smattering of things over the years, but I've always had an affinity for the organization, really appreciate the organization. How many cities of any size have an organization that presents and promotes classical music, chamber music, and what have you, that goes back to the 19th century? It's a treasure for this community.
Mm-hmm.
And those are offered for free besides.
Absolutely.
The Wednesday series has traditionally always been a free series, and there aren't many of those. My history dates back to, I'm going to guess, probably around 1992 when I first met Helen Boatwright, who was heavily involved with the organization. And it seemed like I was always playing for something or somebody on it for any number of years. And I also used to be a regular fixture at the CMM vocal competition, usually playing for the singers from out of town who didn't have a pianist to play for them. That was always sort of a scary experience, but it was really fun, and I always have appreciated just the variety and the opportunity to do things.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to hear your stories about CMM, and I know I like hearing everybody's stories. It's always so different, and it's always, CMM gives us this opportunity to present ourselves, to spread music to the area, and it's the organization has been around since 1890, so we're on 131 years at this point. So I want to get into the program a little bit. So actually, you're opening this program with a piece of music by an instrument that, by today's standards, is very unique, the clarinet in C. So tell us a little bit about the sonata by Xavier Lefebvre.
Well, it was the fifth of 12 published in one of the earliest clarinet methods. We're talking 1802 here. And, for perspective, the clarinet was still being kind of perfected, or that maybe is a stretch. We don't know if we've ever perfected it. But anyway, Mozart, of course, was way ahead of his time with his concerto of 1791, the same year as his death. It's very late work, as is the clarinet quintet. But when the French composer Lefebvre composed these sonatas, they were in this method book, so they were kept brief, and they were kept certainly on the considerably easier side compared, say, to the Mozart works. They're charming. The gentleman had a gift for melody, and they're just delightful. But I was just trying to get everything I could put my hands on in the way of authentic works from that period after I had the privilege of being able to obtain this C clarinet. I actually brought it into the room, so there's 4 of us. And although the picture probably doesn't give the best perspective, this is shorter than the B-flat clarinet. And hence, it's pitched a step higher. And I suppose they were more common in that period. But nowadays, you don't see them very often. They're a wonderful little instrument with their own charm.
Mm-hmm. And I have a quick, so just wondering, so the C clarinet that you have right now, how close is it to what would have been played in the early?
Thankfully, not close at all. This has all the modern key work. It's a modern buffet. They do still make them. They can be very expensive, but at the time I got this one, the prices weren't like they are now. And it's really has all of the key work of the modern B-flat and A clarinets, the E-flat clarinets. The tuning can be a little more challenging, but if we had to work around the old instruments, they don't have all the keys. It would be much more difficult.
Mm-hmm. So the rest of this program is, it's a very diverse program. And we also have 2 pieces by composers who are from Central New York. One by Nick Giannopoulos and another by Halsey Stevens. Tell us why you chose this repertoire and, why it's so meaningful to you.
Well, I think probably the first reason for all of the repertoire on all of our recitals, and Sar has been collaborating with me now for, what is it, Sar? I think it's 20 years by now, isn't it?
Oh, it's longer than that.
Yeah, later 90s.
Yeah, well, it actually started around 94 or 95, so it's 25.
Yeah, 95-ish.
Yeah.
I did faculty recitals at Syracuse with Kevin Moore in 94, 93 maybe, and then you came along, and that's been it. But really, I was going to say it's simple. It's about variety. And I pretty much always want to perform both clarinet and saxophone because it's something I can do that's unusual, to play this advanced literature on both single reed instruments. It's the core raison d'etre of our 8 CD series that you apparently consulted for the elegy there. And so we're looking for variety. And for the CMM program, we were looking for some music that wasn't all as serious contemporary as the previous recital we did that was all one composer in 2019. Thinking of just more variety, and including
that's my
including the Broadway medley at the end. So we got some cool cats that are interested here, huh?
Yeah, you like to hang out a little bit.
Shortly, I'm sure.
And Sarah, what's your perspective on that? Because you've done this with me a lot of years, and I think you've generally, bought into it.
It works very well, I think, because on pretty much every program as they are represented in the recital, we have performed those individual CD programs live, and they work really well because they do offer a variety. They range from music which sounds more traditional to some music which can be challenging even to ears who like contemporary music. But everything has a variety. Everything covers a large historical period, as large as possible given how long the instruments have been around. And Gee, I think they work well. I find myself pulling out the CDs and listening to them every now and then.
If we could sort of respond to you mentioned about the composers with CNY connections. Interestingly, there's what is it, half a dozen things on this program, and it goes C clarinet, B flat clarinet, and then soprano saxophone. Then the rest is on alto, and the two more classical alto pieces are the two pieces where we have a Central New York connection, but of quite different generations. Nick Giannopoulos' piece is unaccompanied alto saxophone. And honestly, I wanted to program that as soon as I could, just to be supportive of him. And it's a worthy piece. That has to come first, and it certainly does. He sent it to me, and I was in my last year, I believe, at the university and didn't have a chance to program it when I was there. But, and then in 2019, we had all David Canfield music in our CMM program, and he was a guest here. And then in 2020, it got canceled, right? So this is our first opportunity, and I think it's a worthy piece. And I just wanted to do it for Nick's sake. The other one, though, what follows that on the program is a rather well-known composer, Halsey Stevens, who I didn't even realize it until I was looking a lot of this up back a number of years ago, that he's a Central New Yorker native, born in Scott, New York, which a lot of people don't even know where that is. But it's near Homer. He was educated in the Homer schools, attended Syracuse University, and went on to quite a distinguished career, 30 years on the faculty at USC, and a little bit of time at Syracuse University as well.
Mm-hmm. But I'm really excited to hear this program, to hear it for a second time, because I got to hear it already, but to hear it on Wednesday, March 24th at 12:15. It's going to be broadcasted on our CMM YouTube page. Subscribe. And the information is on both our Facebook event page, Civic Morning Musicals on Facebook, and civicmorningmusicals.org. So check it out. And we hope to see you there. So again, Ron Caravan, Sar-Shalom Strong, thank you very much for being with us.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.